Alright, welcome back to our playthrough as Interventionist France. I've done a couple things. I know I said I was going to try and do as much on screen as possible, but all I really did was just name everything. Première escadre de marine, and I named the armies, so I have l'Armée du Belgique, Armée du Maginot, l'Armée des Alpes, and Garnison de l'Aix. Interestingly, I don't. If you didn't know this, sometimes metropolitan France is referred to as the hexagon by French speakers. All right, let's get these guys on the line as well. Right? Yeah. We don't need those guys doing all that. Okay, and Armée d'Afrique, I should say. Garnison d'Afrique. Oops, I forgot one. Let's take that. Let's get that taken care of. Shoot. You know what? I've actually got to grab that from Come on now. Alright. And we don't need that second A, so Armée Indochine. Army Indochina. And then I've given the theaters a name. So we finished up that research last time, and we're just going to move right into mechanical computing, try to get that research time down even further. Oh, okay. That's from last time. The Spanish Civil War has begun, and looks like the military has joined up with the nationalists mostly. So we'll see what happens. We want these guys. We want somebody over here in this base. All right. Oh, jeez. Why don't we have this guy go right here? Because we need that defended. Alright. I think that that's pretty much it. Right now, we're kind of letting our political power build up so we can grab a national character. And we're getting legislative action so that we can eventually move down to social reforms and then decrease unemployment, economic reforms, support Blum, and interventionist stance. Okay, so we can check on our guys in training. Interestingly, the mechanized divisions are doing the most, mostly because we are in such a deficit with our infantry weapons. 31 in the hole on that. So let's take a look at our factories. Man, not good, not good. So we'll have our first new military factory, which is probably going to go, we're probably going to make a bunch go to the, come on now. To infantry equipment. Oh, okay. Legislative action. Great. So we can modify our government now. We got a big boost. And I'm going to jump right for power and politics. Some of these other ones are pretty cool, but they are kind of like what you want to play as specific. For example, Will of the People, it's obviously a communist one. You get communist support. Divine Inspiration is a little different. Sort of like a God focus thing. You have a big hit to research time, which we really can't afford. We only have 3 research slots as it is, so we can't do that one really. Secular institutions, democracy growing is good, but we also have daily fascism support go up, which isn't as great. And as France, we don't have a big fascist party. What do we have here? 1% is the far right leagues, so we don't really need to worry about them just yet. So that's possible to think about that, but it's not really worth it in my opinion, just because we have this one that's fascism support. Well, actually, not because of that one, but that's another one we don't want. But because power and politics, we get plus 1%, 0.1%, excuse me, to our daily political power gain. If we look up here, we have big hits to our gain. Inflation, 0.6, and disjointed government, 0.2. So this kind of offsets one of them, and eventually it will do us more good. So let's get another national focus going, and we're going to jump right down into... and you know, I kind of changed my mind a little bit. I think we're going to jump into... We're going to do decreased unemployment first, because this gives us, let's see, 5 civilian factories, which is pretty great, for free. And that'll help us start to build more of our military factories. So we're going to jump into that, actually. And then we'll do the other one. Alright, so the Popular Front wins the election. Our ally Siam requires us to transfer our territories to them in order to have a better grip over the control to the specific battlefield. Oh wow, I don't think that that's supposed to be the font for this, but okay. So Leon Blum becomes the leader for our group. Yep. So big whoop. He wins. Good for you. Okay. Okay, let's deal with this as they go. All right. After the election of the Popular Front, a massive general strike of the working class breaks out. Initiation in Le Havre, accompanied by factory occupations to prevent lockouts, and had quickly spread to all of France. More than 1 million workers were on strike. The social movement immediately followed the electoral victory of the Popular Front in order to reach this position of force. The new left-wing government, headed by Léon Blum, negotiates with success social agreements signed at the Hôtel Matignon. All of the workers benefited with those agreements, which are the legal right to strike, paid vacation, 40-hour work week, paid 48, I'm not quite sure what that means, and the removal of all obstacles to union organization. So we don't actually have this yet. This is kind of a bug with this mod, and maybe it has something to do with the road to 56. I doubt it. I don't really know why it happens. But we don't have that yet. It's a becomes a national spirit up here, and we get negative 30% factory output, which cripples us for a while. But we don't actually get that until we do, come on, get out of the way, social reforms, and then we get it. So it's a little premature when it pops off like that, but what can you do? All right, so we have our basic machine tools, and what we need to do is think about which one of these we're going to get. Are we going to go for concentrated industry or dispersed industry? Now, playing against defensive France, it's sort of in the back of my mind that we're going to get bombed more than we normally would. It's going to be a big focus of mine to build up the Air Force and prevent that as much as we can. But if we look at the bonuses to each one of these, concentrated industry, plus 15% output, dockyard output, plus 10%, max factories in a state, 20%. Okay, so the only difference here is we trade the 5% for factory output for production efficiency retention, plus 10%, production efficiency base, plus 5%, and factory bomb vulnerability, minus 10%. So in my opinion, I gotta go with the dispersed industry. That bomb vulnerability is, I think, in itself enough to justify the negative 5% factory output. I could be wrong, but this is the bet I'm gonna make for myself. Alright, so let's get that timer going some more. I don't think anything new has come out. Maybe we have a new ship or two? Yeah, we got a couple. Let's get that submarine out of here. And let's have him go to the one in the north. And then we'll grab these up. Make them one group. I'm actually going to grab another destroyer. Yep. Let's get 4 more of those. Come on. There we go. And everything else looks pretty good. Alright. It's kind of jumping a little bit with the 5 times speed going on. Okay, these guys are all in a bad way. Kind of stinks. It's probably because of our infantry equipment being really slow. Still 31,000 in the hole. And how much do we make a day? Like 11 and a half a day. It's pretty garbage. Alright. See how those factories are coming? Almost. Well, when we grab the decrease unemployment, this next factory is going to jump up to 10 out of 15, which is going to be pretty great. And that'll help us finish up, 2 at a time, rather than just 1 at a time having 15. Just kind of garbage. Oop, alright, construction 1. Great. We need that. We need that badly. Sometimes I like to think about waiting until construction 2, because it's a pretty big benefit. And really, excavation is France. The only thing we're really, if we look at our trade here, the only thing that we're really exporting is aluminum and steel and chromium. So I don't really, and we have rubber as well, but I don't know if that actually goes up with the, wow, that's, what? Produced. Why doesn't any of this come from, oh, okay. Yeah, that begs talking about. Just a second, I'll explain that. Okay, but anyways, we just get more aluminum and steel and chromium to sell, because we have enough for our own stuff, right? So, oops, wrong one. Don't really necessarily want that one, and I kind of want more construction quicker. So, at 135 days, it's really not that bad. So we're actually going to jump right into that one. Okay, so as I was going to say just a second ago, one thing this mod also does is it splits off some of the countries that were not fully integrated puppets, like Morocco and Tunisia and Syria and little Lebanon, and also Indochina. So in this mod, they're independent, right? And they have their own production and such. So yeah, we don't just immediately get all the rubber that's made in Indochina. But at the same time, it allows our allies to trade for it, and we can also get it from them. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, get the purges in the Soviet Union. Interesting, interesting. We have decreased unemployment. Great. So let's, first things first, let's get this. And we're going to jump to social reforms, I think. Yeah, social reforms. Let's get that done. So as I was saying, Morocco, Tunisia, Syria, Lebanon, and Indochina do not start off, they're not like part of your country, so you don't have full control of them. And I'm not entirely sure how that works, like getting their resources. I think we just have to trade for it, right? Let's see. Yeah, French Indochina. Yeah, so you just have to trade with them. It's kind of lame. We're going down the interventionist lane here, but there is a different path that we could take. We could actually still intervene with this. I take that back. So it's not like the opposite or anything, but support Daldier, and that there's an attempt to force a coup in the new French colonies. Has a good chance of succeeding. Let's see what it's finished off. But it might backfire. So this one could make those under your direct control, and I think that can have some big, swings for production, like rubber and stuff. All right, the games are concluded. Good to know, good to know. Disperse factory, great. What else do we want? I suppose it is not quite time for that. Let's actually grab up excavation. Like I said, now it's twice as long. It's like less worth it almost. Let's do it anyways. Whatever. All right. Might be a better choice to go for something else, but we'll get it. We'll get it. All right. Let's see how nationalist Spain is doing. Pretty well. Okay. Soviet, China declared war. All right. So Italy sent to Soviet Union only sent one. Oh man. And Germany sent one. So yeah, they really need a lot more Soviet support for the communists to do well there. And we probably won't make it in time to intervene. But what are you gonna do? We might be able to intervene somewhere else, possibly China. We'll see what happens. I think these guys, let's see, they are, yep, at war defensively. Okay, they usually win that. Okay, timer's still ticking away. Checking these factories again. Ugh, almost. Oh, hey, look, we finished the other one. Yeah, and then we got the 10 up here, so that's great. That's pretty good. We will have another factory here. It looks like we already have one. Or did that just come up? Yeah, that just came off. Okay, so one more. 18, 19 a day. It's better than 11 for sure. So like I said in the first episode, one of the first technologies I'm going to go for that's not... Oh, alright, social reforms is done. Interestingly. Now, we can't go for support Blum because we're still at 38%. So wow, we don't actually need... Oh yeah, nope. Silly me. We do need this last one, economic reforms, which is going to do something cool for us. It's going to give us the base unity to jump into support Blum, but it's also going to give us a big swing in political power, so we can choose another national thingy, whatever they're called, national characters. Okay. Yeah, I keep getting interrupted, and I feel like I'm losing my spot all the time. Sorry about that. Ooh, Sweden revokes the Åland Convention. I'm not sure how you say that. Basically, this island right here, Åland is controlled by Finland, but the Swedes are all up in arms about it. So, could be some trouble. We'll see what happens. Oh, that's what I was saying. Research, that's not infantry equipment. Some of this stuff that we need to catch up on will be the fighter here. The Saulnier. Yep, that'll be our first non-industry thing. Just because we gotta grab some planes. Interwar fighters aren't gonna cut it when the time comes. They're not great at all. So, oh yeah, we missed the Civil War. Bummer. And it looks like Nationalist Spain won. So, yet another fascist power on our borders. Yep, we saw. Okay. Okay. What I'm gonna do here is grab a couple of these guys, and I am gonna switch them over to infantry divisions. Modify government. What do we... Oh, right. So like I said, this mod adds a bunch to France's choices. There's only this one, FAMH. I'm not even sure what that stands for, but in the original vanilla game, and he adds 7, which is pretty great. So we'll talk about that when the time comes. But also, in addition, they added a lot of 75.1s, which is pretty good for France. It can be pretty tough, especially if you're playing on hard, to get any political power whatsoever. But they do come with these problems of reliability, usually. So, yeah. For planes, quite a bit more. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I think there was 4 originally, so this is 5 more. And navies, there's only 1 FCM. Now there's another 6 to choose from. And for tanks, I think there was... No, there's AMX and Renault. I think those are the only 2 to choose from, though, so I think it added 6. Yep. This is actually probably one of the better 75.1s. Armor research time -7%, and armor reliability +5. It isn't, however, as good as you know, some of the other choices we get later. And a lot of these decisions are tied to... We'll let the time keep going. A lot of these decisions are tied to how you decide to play France. So, for instance, you can't get these 3, Berlier, Delaunay, Belleville, and Lorraine, Ditwek, unless you play as fascist. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. Interesting indeed. And I don't know if there's actually anything... Construction 2, great. I'm not sure if there's anything else that requires like a specific, you know, political goal there. All right. So we got construction 2, great. That'll help us quite a bit. And it's almost 37. I'm actually going to take care of our infantry equipment. We need to take that, get that squared away. All right, and I'm not going to dismiss that just because it doesn't come up, I think, at 150. All right, mechanical computing, great, great. And it's not there yet. Let's get radio. All right. So, can't really go any faster than this. Yeah, so let's look at Eastern Europe and see what we have going on over here. So, like I said, Czechoslovakia, Romania, and Yugoslavia. Those are going to be the first. This is our first ally, Czechoslovakia, and then Yugoslavia, and then Romania, and then Poland. That's kind of how the tech tree's laid out. Sorry, the focus tree's laid out. So you get Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Romania, and Poland. And one day too soon. Economic reforms. Support Blum. Let's do it. So we're going to play a little defensively along this river here. Let the timer go. Along this river here, kind of let the Germans bleed themselves. And we're going to try and get some divisions up to Czechoslovakia to defend the areas that aren't covered by forts, which are namely the parts that border Austria. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think those touch. Those 5 places. Because once Germany anschlusses Austria, then yeah, the front gets a lot bigger for them. And these forts don't protect them quite as much. Which actually aren't even in the north either. It's kind of scary. But perhaps they'll get more. Perhaps they'll get more. Hopefully they get more. Oh, shoot. I forgot. Modify government. So I'm going to also... I'm going to grab up limited rights here for women. Basically, just because we don't really have anything else we need at the moment. We could get this for national unity. But we're going to try and keep the Germans off French soil entirely. So that said, we have to, you know, we don't really need to worry about it. So that's not as big on the priority list. Sphere of influence, I'm not really keen on getting the foreign relations ones up. Doesn't really matter to me. We have this one. This one is interesting. It's a different choice between, for me, and playing as France in this way. It really comes down to melting pot, which helps us build factories faster, but we lose some national unity, which is, you know, that's tough for us. And then the greater good, which, you know, we do have a pretty low recruitable population, but we are only on limited conscription, just to keep that in mind. But unfortunately, we can't get melting pot right now because it'll take us below 40% national unity, and then it'll cancel support plum. So we really don't have any time to waste on that. And limited rights doesn't do that. Total equality does. Factory output plus 15% is attractive. Political power gain minus 15% is tough. So we're just going to go with the limited rights to get a little bonus to our factory output, which is going to make up for the lack of factory output from choosing centralized. What was that? Centralized industry? Concentrated industry. Close enough. Okay. See what else we got going. Let's close that. Czechoslovakia starts border fortification project due to increased tensions with Germany. Czechoslovakian government, at the recommendation of the Allied France, initiated the construction of massive fortification system in Sudetenland to protect the northwestern border against possible German aggression. Key sources from Germany suggest that Chancellor Hitler is furious, and will cover this topic briefly in the upcoming party congress in Nuremberg. So let's see what changed there. Let's unpause it. And okay, so they got level 2 forts. I don't know if that's massive fortifications, but they do have some 6s. Some holes here though. 0. It's only 2 places away from Prague. It's kind of no good. Oh geez, Poland declared war on Lithuania. I hope you win, bud, because I want you in our faction eventually. Now, oh great, we have more military factories. That's really good, really, really good. And let's actually throw that into. Gotta do more infantry equipment. We're just so behind on it. So the great thing about playing like this is that if we can do it fast enough, we can have a pretty decent coalition. I mean, their divisions and such aren't, you know, anything against the German ones. The German ones are much better, but at least it's a fighting chance to start off with France as the head of a faction, which is pretty cool in my opinion, and that's why I'm doing it. Okay, it's 37 now, so let's get improved machine tools. Okay, so almost there, and then we can get. And now that the Spanish Civil War is over, I'm actually gonna probably not do French intervention right away. Yep. Instead, I'm gonna grab up. We're gonna get some overseas factories. Get 4 free. 4 free civilian factories. I don't know if that's worth it actually. Ooh. Oh boy. Let's do. Rearmament. What do you do? Change economy law to early mobilization, which grants 25% civilian factory construction speed, negative 10% military construction speed, negative 10%. Now that's red. Is that supposed to be green? I don't know about that. Does it go slower then? Bummer. Okay. Well, I guess let's just let's grab that overseas factory. The longer we have those factories for, the more good they're doing for us. So yeah, like I was saying, this coalition could be pretty cool. If we can help Czechoslovakia hold on to their lands for a long time, we can really watch the death count for Germany skyrocket. Hopefully Italy won't join the fascists right away. The Axis, I should say. Because that could really do damage for the plans here in Yugoslavia, which are defend this river for a while, and then shoot north with our mechanized and armored. Hey, Poland won. Great. Poland, I appreciate you getting stronger for the coalition. Much appreciated, my good sir. Man, only 3 research factories. This hurts so much. Okay. Well, it's just time ticks away. Let's see if we have any new... Oh yeah, I do need to reassign these guys, I think. Nope, they're in the right spot. How about these guys? Okay, 3 subs. Wow. Let's get all the submarines off. Alright, I'm going to pause right there just so I can do this a little better. 30 subs might be kind of a lot for one group. But let's get this factory. Shucks. We are still short on some motorized divisions here. And it would be nice to have more tanks so we don't have to rely on the FT-17s, which are pretty outdated. And yeah, this just the sheer lack of infantry equipment. Just forces being put it there. Okay. I think if we get any more subs, which we got a few coming, right? One more sub. Okay. Well, we'll just let the sub go out then. 31 and how many here? 32. Yeah, we'll let it go to the south then. All right, so we got some good support for our infantry now, which is good. And we're gonna grab up this dispersed industry. And then I think the next technology we have going. Okay, radio is done. Not gonna worry about excavation right now. I really need to grab up that plane because we're not gonna have that many factories to devote to making the planes. So we need more time in which to make them. All right, so that last sub finished. Let's go ahead and add 1 to the destroyer and do 1 to convoys. All right, so give me that sub. Give me that sub. And have I reassigned these guys? Yes, I have to Brittany. Okay. Great. Alright, let's check on this construction here. Got a couple of factories coming along. Man, I don't know what happened to our factories. We were up at 10 for the second one. What's going on? Factory output negative 30%. Maybe that has something to do with our building ability as well. We're about to get a few more. Okay, let's see how much that boosted us. I don't feel like that was even 4. Okay, whatever. Center for Scientific Research looks so juicy right now. But I really got to get this French intervention done. We got to start building this coalition. Hindenburg, a few less Germans. Okay. Alright, come on now. Soviet withdrawal. Oh, geez. After a buildup of Japanese forces in Manchuria, the Soviet Union appears to have unexpectedly withdrawn units that were stationed right alongside the border. This may be a bid by Moscow to avoid a future confrontation with Japan, possibly triggered by the stinging memory of the defeat Russia endured in the Russo-Japanese War. Perhaps this will result in lasting peace. It won't! Spoiler alert. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Alright, I think this has been sort of another housekeeping episode. We haven't really accomplished much of our goals here of setting up our alliance, but I am going to call it here for an episode. So we got the 21 May. Next time, we're going to be finishing off this, maybe jumping into building the coalition, and maybe jumping down to National Center for Scientific Research, get that extra research slot, which will be pretty nice, since we only have 3, which kind of hurts. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, hope you have a great one.